Hello my dear students, welcome back to my channel. This is Indira, your botany lecturer. Now in this video I am continuing with the topic in genetics which I have continued with the last topic. Last topic I discussed about incomplete dominance and codominance and heterodominance. And in this video, in this session I will be discussing about polygenic inheritance. So let us understand what is the meaning of polygenic inheritance, and then I am going to discuss few numericals which can be expected from this topic. So let us start with first definition of polygenic inheritance. So normally we know any one character is generally controlled by only a single gene. Any character when we take, it is normally controlled by one gene. But when we when we call polygenic inheritance, poly means many, genic, genes. So it is controlled by more than one gene. Then it is called as a polygenic inheritance. When any character controlled by more than one gene, then we call it as polygenic inheritance. And the intensity of that particular character will depend upon the number of dominant genes present there, dominant allele present. That is called as a cumulative or additive effect. Depending upon whatever number of dominant alleles are present, the intensity of character is shown. If more number of dominant alleles are present, the intensity will be more. So this we are going to understand by taking different examples, and here in this type of inheritance we find a gradient of expression of a particular character. The meaning of gradient of expression is not just the two phenotypes like dominant or recessive, or say very tall or very dwarf like we can find in Mendel's. Not just two phenotypes but a range of phenotypes we can expect. A range of phenotypes from highest expression to the lowest expression, and in between we find many different grades of expression. So here we find many grades of expression, from very high to the low and medium and various other grades, other intensities, other grades depending upon whatever character is taken for consideration. That is what is called as a polygenic inheritance. And this polygenic inheritance is also influenced by environment. Environment can influence to some extent the expression of these characters. Not only the presence of dominant allele, but also the environment can influence. So let us understand with some examples here. So the idea of polygenic inheritance was first given by Nelson and Allais. They first observed polygenic inheritance in kernel color of wheat. Kernel means the outer skin color, the outer color. That is called as a kernel. Kernel means the grain. So color of the grain, kernel color of wheat. That was the study done to explain the polygenic inheritance. So this we will take it as a first example, like kernel color of wheat if we take. So in parental generation we will take red and white. Red is completely dominant and it is represented by two genes as R and B. White is a recessive. So if all the four alleles are completely dominant alleles, then it is expressing the phenotype red. If all are completely recessive, then it is expressing the phenotype white. Now, as any other cross, suppose we observe F1 generation. F1 generation is always double heterozygous. So here we find two dominant alleles. Then it is showing the intermediate color, that is between red and white. It will be medium color, not very dark red or white, but it will be medium color. That is called as an intermediate color. So this we find in F1 generation. Let us see what will be the ratio in F2 generation. So when we observe F2 generation, we can expect these different types of genotypes. So first one with all dominant alleles for both the genes, all 4 dominant alleles. So here I have given in a tabular form for you to understand easily, and then I have given the ratio. So if the all 4 dominant alleles are present, that is how many individuals? 1 is present with all 4 dominant, 1 individual. Similarly, with 3 dominant, 4 individuals are present. 2 dominant, 6 individuals are present. 2 dominant alleles. 1 dominant allele, 4 individuals are present. And 0 dominant allele, no dominant allele at all. So 1 is present. So altogether we will find total of 16 individuals in F2 generation, just like any other dihybrid cross. We can find 16. And what is their genotypic ratio and also phenotypic? Here genotypic and phenotypic ratio will be the same. So what is that ratio? We can write it as, we can write the ratio as 1:4:6:4:1. So we find 5 different types of genotypes and also phenotypes. 5 types of genotypes as well as 5 types of phenotypes. So what is here important to remember is 5 types of both genotypes as well as phenotypes. They are present. So ratio question you can expect. So you have to remember the ratio. So this ratio is obtained when 2 genes are taken for a particular character. When 2 genes are involved, then we get this phenotypic and genotypic ratio. Remember the ratio clearly, 1:4:6:4:1. Now what is their expression? What is that character? Phenotypic character. First one, full red. If all 4 are dominant alleles, we get the phenotype as full red. Full red is very dark red. Then if we have 3 dominant alleles, we are getting light red. Third phenotype, if we have 2 dominant alleles, we are getting intermediate. Then if we are getting 1 dominant allele, we are getting very light. And if we are getting no dominant allele at all, 0, that means completely absent, then we are getting white. So these are the different phenotypes which are obtained. This is the case where 2 genes are involved for a particular character. Now let us see the most complicated one, the second example, human skin color. All of us know the human skin color show different shades. No 2 individuals will have the same skin color. Each one have their own color of the skin. That is because of this range of expression which we can observe in a polygenic inheritance. So, human skin color was first studied by Davenport, and human skin color is controlled by 3 genes, ABC. Let us take it as ABC, 3 genes. So, let us understand how these genes are distributed and what are their respective phenotypes. So, Negro, black and white, if a cross is made. Negro black means all alleles are dominant. All 6 alleles, 3 genes is 6 alleles. All 6 alleles are dominant. Then it is Negro black. White is all are recessive. F1 generation we get a hybrid that is called intermediate color or mulatto. So when a Negro black crossed with white, the progeny obtained is called as a mulatto. Mulatto means it is an intermediate brown color where 3 dominant alleles will be present. Now suppose there is an inbreeding and we are getting F2 generation. then there will be a distribution of colors in F2 generation. Let us observe what will be the phenotypic F2 ratio in case of human skin color. So we get this ratio 1:6:15:20:15:6:1. So we are getting how many? Total of 7 phenotypes and 7 different types of genotypes also. So only one we get Negro black. First one is Negro black. I am going to give their genotype also. The first one Negro black, then we are getting all dominant alleles. All are dominant alleles. Then we are getting a Negro black. Then second we are getting 6 individuals, very dark brown. Very dark brown, we have 5 dominant alleles. One is recessive and 5 dominant alleles. The next we are getting 15 individuals with dark brown. So dark brown we have 4 dominant alleles. Any four dominant alleles are present. Then we call it as a dark brown. Then we have 20 of mulatto, that means intermediate, with 3 dominant alleles. Mulatto is with 3 dominant alleles. Then next we have 15 of light brown. 15 of light brown. So light brown will have 2 dominant alleles. After mulatto we have light brown of 2 dominant alleles. This any 2. You can take any 2 dominant alleles. Remaining all will be recessive. Any 2 dominant alleles. After light brown we have very light brown. Very light brown. Very light brown we have 6 individuals of very light brown. Very light brown will have only 1 dominant allele. Any 1 dominant allele can be present. That is called very light brown. And then we have lastly white with no dominant allele at all. 0. No dominant allele. This is what is the distribution of the human skin color. So we find a range of skin color. So we are getting a peak of 20, number 20 for mulatto. There is a gradual increase. If we try to draw a bar graph, we get this type of curve for skin color. Gradually there is an increase in number. Increase in number with decrease in, there is an intensity of the color. Maximum intensity we find here. Then there is decrease in intensity and increase in number. Then there is a 20 which is the peak, mulatto. And then again there is a decrease in number up to the last white. There is a decrease in number. So this type of curve, bell-shaped, we can call this as bell-shaped curve, is followed by human skin color. So this is what is the polygenic inheritance. Other examples we can take human intelligence also. Human intelligence also is a polygenic inheritance, because even here we find range of intelligence. It's not that one is highly intelligent, other is an idiot. So there is a range always. So other example we can take is human intelligence. Human intelligence. This is also an example of polygenic inheritance. So now let us try to understand some problems related to the examination point of view, objective exam, with respect to polygenic inheritance. So first I'll read out the question and then we will see. Assume the height in a plant is controlled by 2 genes and each additive allele contributes 10 centimeters. Remember, each additive allele means it should be a dominant allele. That is called as additive allele. To the base height. Base height is always recessive and it is common. Base height means it is the basic height, minimum height. Minimum always is contributed by these recessive alleles. So base height is 10 centimeters. So let us find out the different questions asked here. Different questions asked. So first question asked, what is the height of this particular genotype? Capital A, capital A, capital B, capital B. Remember, in the question it is given each dominant allele or additive allele is contributing 10 centimeters. 10 centimeters. So here we have to give it as 10 into 4. So this will be equal to 40. To this we are going to add the base height, that is 10 centimeters. Base height means the minimum height contributed by all recessive alleles. So total height here we are going to get 50 centimeters. This is how we have to solve. We have to add the base height and contribution of each dominant allele we have to add. Okay. Now second question in the same part. Phenotypic ratio of F1 and F2 plants in a cross between these. So let us try to understand what is the cross we can obtain first in F1 generation. F1 generation we are going to get this individual. In F1 generation we are going to get this individual. So in F1 we can find out, how many dominant alleles are present. Here we can find 2 dominant alleles. Here we can find in F1 we can find 2 dominant alleles. So if 2 dominant alleles are present and we know the base height is 10. So 2 dominant alleles we can solve it as 10 into 2. This will give 20 centimeters. To the 20 centimeters we are going to add base height, that is 10 centimeters. So total height here will be 30 centimeters. This is in F1. So now in F2 generation, we can find different types of genotypes. Let us see what are the different genotypes we can expect here in F2 generation. So first genotype we can expect this in F2 generation. Second genotype will be, we can expect this in F2 generation. Third genotype will be, this is how we can expect, and fourth genotype, this one, and last genotype, this one. So here we are gradually decreasing the number of dominant alleles present. So accordingly we can. So here all 4 alleles, so each one is contributing 10, so 40, plus we have to add base. So here 40 plus 10, we are going to take it as 50 centimeters. Here we are going to take it as 3 dominant alleles. So 30 plus 10. So here we will take it as 40 centimeters. Here 20 and plus 10. So here we will take it as 30 centimeters. And here only 10. So plus base height. So 10 plus 10. That is, we are taking 20 centimeters. And here only base height, no dominant allele. So we will take it as 10 centimeters. So this is how we can calculate in F2. So all this will be in F2 generation. This is how we can solve this question both in F1 and F2 generation. Now the third question in this says, list all genotypes that give rise to 20 and 40 centimeters height. All genotypes that give rise to 20 and 40 centimeters. So here we can easily list down here which is giving 20 and 40 just by referring to the above question. So 20 centimeters and 40. So 20, what is the genotype for 20? This is what is the genotype for 20. So we can take any other genotype also, any other dominant allele. We can get any one dominant allele. Suppose we take, this is a small a and small a. We can take one capital B and small b. This also is with one dominant allele. So anything with one dominant allele, we can list it down. Now with 40, 40 means we have 3 dominant alleles. So any 3. So one genotype we can take this with 3 dominant alleles, and any other also. Another genotype we can, this is how we can take another genotype. So anything with 3 dominant alleles we can list down, that is 20 and 40. This is what is the question. Now next question, let us see. This is the one question. Now let us go through the second question. Next question, let me discuss. A plant with all, we can find here heterozygous condition, is 40 centimeters height. It is a 40 centimeters height. Plant with this is the base. Always all recessive allele, this is called as a base height. Base height always we can add to the main dominant allele. What is the height of the plant with this genotype? Base height is given and this is given as 40 centimeters and base height is given. So base height is 10 centimeters and here we find 2 dominant alleles. So 2 dominant alleles will be equal to 10 plus 10, that is 20, plus base height is 10. So we will get here 30 centimeters. This is how we have to do this. Okay, now another question. Next question. In tomato we are finding, in tomato with the genotype. What is the genotype given? With all recessive alleles. This is the genotype. Produces 100 grams tomatoes. That means with this all recessive alleles it is producing 100 grams tomatoes, and with all dominant alleles it is producing 160 grams. So what is the contribution of each polygene in production of tomatoes? Each polygene. Each polygene means we have to always take a dominant allele. So contribution of each polygene. Let us now try to do. So total when 160 is given for this is what is the genotype and it can produce 160 grams. So when we have to get the contribution of polygene, we have to subtract the base height here. Previous question we have added, but here we have to find out individually the contribution of dominant allele. So we can subtract base height, base weight here, base weight. So if we are subtracting the base weight, 160 minus 100, here 100 is given, that is equal to 60. So 60 is the contribution for all 6 alleles together here. So there are 6 alleles present. All 6 alleles, the contribution is 60. So for individual allele we can take 60 by 6 because each one is, total number of alleles are 6. All contributed by is 60. So we are going to get 10. So contribution of each of the dominant allele will be 10. So these are some of the questions asked in polygenic inheritance. So I hope I am very clear, children. So with this I conclude this topic, polygenic inheritance. So those who have joined newly for my session, please subscribe to my channel so that you are going to get all the videos which I upload, and try to understand and always give the feedback in the comment box which I'm sure I'm going to attend every day. So I hope you have understood. Please subscribe and share to the maximum extent. That's all for now. Let's meet in the next session. Thank you very much. Have a good day.